Hi. Well, this is it. My first video with my new camera. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's been an emotional day today. I wanted to tell you about it, but I don't think I'm in the right frame of mind because I'm so excited about my camera when really I should be talking about my divorce, because today's the day I went and got a divorce. Mr. Darcy is behind the camera. Okay, yeah, this is kind of how my life goes. So something horrible happens, or at least emotionally crazy, and then something awesome happens. And this is kind of how my life goes. It's very rarely is it just, it's always, woo, like that. So that being said, I got a camera today. So I'm really excited. So yeah, so the story of my life has been that this relationship that I got into when I was 16 years old, jumped into, totally grabbed onto this guy. He was the most amazing man that I knew. He was 18, I was 16, and he was the smartest, smart's the wrong word. He was the most organized guy. He would get the firewood for the parties. He had all the music recorded, because back then we had to actually record music onto cassette tapes, and he would spend hours taping these cassette tapes and off of CFox, which was the coolest radio station ever. And he would have the music for the parties. He would organize everybody, boss them all around. Little did I know he would end up bossing me around for 30 years. Anyways, but it was always like he would get the fire going, the music going, and all of our bush parties were good because he was doing that. And to my mind, that showed responsibility, and that was really cool. And coming from the place that I did, that meant a lot. Anyways, we were together for over 30 years, not married for that whole time. We were together 9 years before we got married. 2 kids, wonderful kids. I don't regret any of it. I probably wasn't the best wife that he could have had. I tend to be I'm a little more artsy, a lot more creative, and a little livelier. I don't tend to do things the way other people do just because that's the way they do them. I like things that are different. I really enjoy ideas, discussing ideas and conversations and meeting people. And I'm an ENFP. For anybody that's done Myers-Briggs profile typing, I'm an ENFP. I'm pretty sure that 90% of the people on YouTube are ENFPs, because we're just that type of person that's going to be on here because we want to connect with you. We want you to know us. We want to know you. It just matters. It matters. This is the only thing that matters. And the fact that I'm on here, I'm 52 years old, and I'm talking to you now. I'm here because nobody was talking about divorce and what happens. Everybody was saying, oh yeah, I'm so great, everything's great. Yeah, well, I wasn't. I was a freaking mess, just a mess. I thought that I was gonna be married forever, and the whole thing crashed, burned, and I became a little bit manic, I would say, a little crazy, did some stuff. I dressed even crazy. You could tell by looking at me that I was nuts. So the fact that I had to come around to accepting what had happened, my part in it, the responsibility, and to have it crash and burn, crippling. It was awful, 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 awful. The only things that got me through, and this is crazy, but I started watching YouTube videos of people who had died and been brought back to life. I watched thousands of them. They actually have a term. They call themselves NDEers, near-death experiencers. And I was obsessed with it because I needed to know that there really was a reason for all this shit that we were going through, because it hurt so much. I was hurting so much. And every day I went out there and I tried to smile and people would avoid me. And I went to a spiritual retreat and they told me, they said, well, yeah, that's because you're not who you say you are. I mean, you're pretending to be this happy, joyful person and you're not, and you're sad. And so we can sense this disconnect in you. You're not authentic. And I'm like, what? Like, all I want to do is be authentic. Like, don't we all want to be ourselves? So then I'm like, great. So now I'm not only fricked up, I'm also inauthentic. Like, I tell you, I had a hard 3 days there. Spiritual retreat, my eye. Like, those things are tough. It's ugly. Like, when you have to face all of your crap and your ego and how horrible and, oh. Anyway, I did go back a year later and because they're great people and I really wanted to be friends with them. So anyway, I need to be authentic. If I'm sad, I need to be sad. If I'm happy, I'll be happy. But yeah, that has been a real lesson for me, because I thought we were supposed to present our happiest view to everyone. But when my marriage ended, I was devastated. So devastated that I couldn't look at it, and I distracted myself with other relationships, with online dating. I distracted myself with YouTube videos on near-death experiences, and for some odd reason, solitaire on my phone. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to make a series of videos to help people that are actually feeling like they're alone, that, you know what, you're not alone. There's so many of us, and I couldn't believe it. There was not a single support group in my town, and there's probably, 80,000 people in this place, and not one single support group for people that have been through relationships. From what I can tell, most people do this. As soon as their relationship ends, they jump into another relationship as fast as they can. They'll date anybody. In fact, everybody out there is desperate. They're all jumping on, okay, come on, man, let's go out. We gotta do this. We gotta meet somebody. We gotta do, like, everybody's freaking out. They got to meet somebody right away. And if they don't meet somebody right away, okay, then here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go hiking. I'm going to go biking. I'm going to go mountaineering. I'm going to go backpacking. I'm joining yoga. And then I've got to go to the gym. And then I've got to work. And I'm going to work extra and more and more and more and more. And then I'm going to I'm going to drink. I'm gonna get drunk every night, and then I'm gonna start smoking dope, and then I'm going to watch porn, and then I'm going to what else am I gonna do to distract myself? Shop. I'm gonna shop, and then I'm going to all these things people just distract themselves with, and it comes down to one thing: they're afraid to be alone, to face themselves, and to just sit and go, okay, so my life crashed. Holy cow, now what? And I think if we don't, for myself, if I didn't take the time to just sit with it and go, okay, I got to figure out, number one, I got to figure out who I am without this guy. I've been with this guy for 30 years. I need to figure out who I am. And the best way for me to figure that out, I did have a lot of relationships. And then I was kind of figuring out, you know what? I don't really like being with somebody that smokes dope all day long. I don't really like being with a guy that plays a lot of video games. Don't really like being with a guy that drinks booze every day, all day, and at night too. Don't like being with a guy that does nothing but watch TV. I was starting to discover a little bit more about myself. And that's, I think, really important. It has taken me 4.5 years just to get this far, where I'm sitting in front of you and feeling, today I got divorced. I can't believe it. We went down, signed the paperwork. That's where I started this whole thing. Oh God, I'm sorry, this is so disjointed, but I'm excited. Anyways, so we met at the courthouse. I walked down and signed the papers. And he had parked away because he said he wasn't going to pay for parking, which I think it's 25 cents an hour. So anyway, so we walked together out of there, and we had this kind of roving conversation that we talked about things that we hadn't talked about since the split. And he apologized for, not really apologized, but he brought up the fact that he'd been cold towards me and kind of cut me out of his life a lot. And that's because I think his new girlfriend, she's been there for 4.5 years, kind of demanded it. And it was like he was apologizing for that. And then I said some stuff. I said that I was sorry. I told him that before, that I feel like I messed up, and I just have to go on with my life and figure out what I'm going to do with it, with the life I have left. And by this point I was crying, and he was, he said there were lots of things that he really liked about me, qualities he liked, but a lot he did not like. And I didn't bother pointing out that I felt quite similarly. But I did tell him that I loved him and I wished him all the best, and I was glad that his girlfriend makes him happy, and we both feel that they are better suited to each other. And I walked away, happy to have sunglasses on. And then, since I had the rest of the day off, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take my paddleboard, I'm going to take it out to the lake and go paddleboarding and sit out there in the sun. And that's exactly what I did. It was great. Yeah, so a new chapter begins. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing or should be doing, or everything kind of fell apart. So on the one hand, I don't know what to do, but on the other hand, that means I can do anything. So that's kind of where it stands. And that's the story of my divorce. Yeah. A crazy day. But it's all good. I mean, it's not all good, but it's all happening the way it is supposed to happen. I'm sticking with that. That might be bullshit, but I'm hoping not. Anyway, now I gotta figure out how to get this little video off of here, this camera, and over there. So I'm not sure how to do that, so no one might ever see this, and that's okay too. That's it. Over and out. How do I turn it off? Mr. Darcy, how do I turn this off?